Hey everybody, Tricia Brouk here, founder of the Big Talk Academy, award-winning director and author. I am so excited for this next series of the Big Talk on my YouTube channel. We have 17 speakers who spoke at the Big Talk Academy's virtual showcase, and each one of them is unique. Each one of them is incredible. They all bring a very special idea to the table, and they all deliver in a very powerful and unique way. I am super excited for you to be introduced to each speaker from the Big Talk Academy's January 7th virtual showcase. Enjoy. Sarah Pritula is a director of charity and an advocate for parents of children who have been diagnosed with ADHD. Her son Cam was diagnosed in grade 3. She shares this story so parents know that they have options. She spent years trying to alternate methods, including medication, meditation, and Montessori school. Please welcome Sarah Pritula. ADHD is not a disorder, it's a superpower.
Mrs. Pritula, we wanted to give you a call because your son Cameron has been walking around the classroom all day, just sharpening his pencil. Mrs. Pritula, we've decided as an entire staff that we think Cameron should go on medication to help keep him more focused. Mrs. Pritula, so good to see you. We've come up with an alternate method to help Cameron stay focused in class. What we do is we put him in the middle of the circle and all the kids sit around him. And as soon as we notice him nodding off, we all yell at the same time, "Cameron, pay attention!" I can't tell you, as a mother, this is heartbreaking and borderline cruel to hear when your child is being centered out. My son Cameron was diagnosed at the age of 8 with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, otherwise known as ADHD. Science says that it is an early neurodevelopmental disorder in children. It also causes you to act impulsively. It causes you to not focus, and it causes you to not pay attention to the things around you. I can vouch and probably fight for that would be all of us at certain times. My son Cameron, though, is very, very musical. And he would spend his toddler years and his young years before kindergarten in front of music videos. He would play his guitar and he would rock out to his favorite band, which was the Foo Fighters, mimicking the lead singer's every single move. What we found was we started getting calls around grade 1. And over the next 3 years, they were extremely tumultuous. We learned a lot of hard and hurtful lessons for our family. And we had to do our own research. We were our own advocates for Cameron because we wanted to make sure that he had the support and guidance he needed in the school system. But I'm here to tell you that ADHD is so much more than science or schools could ever say. These kids are way cooler than they could ever get credit for. And so when a family comes to us and says, our child was recently diagnosed and we're just not sure how to deal with it, how do you support them? How do we make sure that they fit in? How do we make sure that we're working with the school? I tell them 3 things, and they're really simple. The first thing I tell them is that seeing the world through the eyes of an ADHD child is something kind of beautiful. These kids are compassionate and they're understanding. They understand what it feels like to be singled out, to be made fun of, and to feel like they just don't quite fit in. Remember the circle story from the beginning? When they come into their own, they're loving. They want to share everything with you, from their favorite video game tips to eat their very last cookie. I also share with these parents that medication is not for every child, and it's not right for every family. Our pediatrician and our school teachers were really on board for medication and were pushing it. So we did it. We tried it. We put Cameron on medication. and it worked for about 1 week. You see, the side effects of these medication are lack of appetite, loss of appetite, not sleeping, and a complete change in personality. Actually, the last one's not on the bottle, but it's so true, and it really should be. Our teachers and pediatrician thought it was wonderful, and my naturopath and my mother-in-law thought we were monsters, poisoning our child one pill at a time. It all came to a head when one night I went downstairs and I found Cameron playing in a sink full of water. And he looked up at me and he just said, "Mama, I can't sleep." That was 1 a.m. and he was 7. The next day, we took him off all of the medication. And when I met with the pediatrician the next week, I told him what we had done. He looked at me and his smile faded and he closed the file and passed it back. And he said, "We're done here. You're not welcome. Find someone else." So I tell these parents, don't be discouraged because medication is not the be all end all. And it truly is a personal and family decision if you choose to medicate your child. And then finally, I tell these parents that the superpower, the trademark of an ADHD child is their ability to hyper focus. Yes, I know I just spent the last part of my speech telling you that kids can't focus, but really the ability to hyper focus is what sets these kids apart. Remember in the beginning when I was telling you that Cameron would spend hours in front of his music videos, playing a guitar, mimicking his favorite moves? We didn't realize it at the time, but he was developing his craft. He was building his creativity, and that's one way that he could do that. Cameron's 14 now, and he spends hours playing his guitar, writing music, and playing the cello. He's musically gifted by ear, and he can pick up his guitar after he hears a song and teach it to himself within 20 minutes. When he needs to chill and unwind, what he does is he will spend hours in his room teaching himself how to sketch and draw and shade and perfect the perfect comic book, the perfect cartoon, the perfect drawing. We're just so proud of him and his way that he was able to navigate through. But I also tell these parents that what works for 25 kids in one classroom doesn't work for them all. And we need to get outside of that elementary school box thinking because it didn't work for us. And we had to find alternate solutions, like how to keep him focused and how to keep losing his things, which we're still working on. But overall, being the parent of a child with ADHD is pretty awesome. These kids, when I look through the world of Cameron's eyes, I have hope for the future. I know that if the next generation was half as compassionate as he is, we're going to be well taken care of. I also know medication is a personal choice. It's not for everyone. For some people, it's great. For others, it didn't work. And it didn't work for us. And finally, I know that these kids have this crazy ability to hyperfocus. And isn't that truly a superpower in this age of digital distraction? So I encourage you to think of somebody you may know with a child with ADHD. Maybe you haven't really connected with them because they seem really overactive or they're just maybe not well behaved. I want you to take a moment and I want you to speak with them. Ask them what they love. Really ask them what they love. They love sharing their creative outlets with you. And I bet if you're really nice, they'll share their last cookie too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Big Talk Academy's virtual showcase supporting these incredible speakers. If you have the desire to speak on my virtual stage, go to thebigtalkacademy.com for more information. This is a 12-week certification speaker training program that is going to give you everything that you need to have the global impact you desire. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you get access to all of our latest episodes. I love having you here, and I always respond to the comments. Big love.